I had to write a forgiveness letter, and I actually wrote an autobiography pretending that I was her, not knowing her whole life story, but just put yourself in her shoes. And what do you think she went through to be the way that she was and why she treated you the way that she did? And it really did kind of switch things for me.
Welcome to the Radiant Mom Rising, the podcast that's all about celebrating and empowering the incredible, hardworking mothers out there. I'm your host, Mary Dibble. I'm on a mission to equip you with the tools, strategies, and inspiration you need to conquer the challenges of motherhood and life, all while embracing your radiant self. Join us each week for amazing guest interviews, relatable stories, and a whole lot of fun. We're here to create a vibrant, supportive community where we can be our authentic selves, where no one feels alone, and where we uplift and cheer each other on along this incredible journey of motherhood. So, fellow Radiant Moms, get ready to rise, shine, and conquer the world. Let's grow together, laugh together, and make every week a celebration of the powerful, radiant moms we are. This is Radiant Mom Rising, and you're part of a community where your brilliance shines through. Are you ready to rise with us? Let's get started. Welcome to Radiant Mom Rising podcast. I'm Mary Dibble, your host, and today we're diving deep into the power of resilience and self-discovery with an incredible guest whose journey will leave you feeling inspired and empowered. I have known Carol for a little while here, and the way we met was actually on accident in a program that we were in. And somehow we got put into this waiting room together, and I can't tell you enough, it's so amazing how things just happen for a reason, and we just happened to bump into each other that day, and we built a beautiful friendship since and got connected. She is incredible, and Carol, I'm so glad to have her on today. I love the conversation we had. She is a single mom who defied the odds and found her path to healing and purpose through hypnotherapy. With 3 decades of experience in healthcare, her journey began as a registered dental assistant, evolving into a certified clinical hypnotherapist and Reiki master. Carol's focus on holistic healing drives her passion for guiding women in midlife through their transformative phases, helping them prioritize their health and well-being. Through a blend of hypnotherapy and Reiki, she empowers individuals to embark on journeys of self-discovery and holistic wellness. With a dedication to personalized care, she's committed to facilitating positive transformations in the lives of those she serves. So get ready to uncover the secrets to overcoming adversity, embracing change, and tapping into your inner strength. Whether you're facing your own challenges or simply seeking motivation to live your best life, this episode is packed with valuable insights that will resonate with you long after the show ends. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be inspired. I'm here with Miss Carol today. I'm so excited to introduce you to this amazing lady. We were actually in a program together, which is how we met. And I just love to see our journeys and how we've grown. And thank you so much, Carol, for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey that has led you to where you are today.
Okay, so I know that I'm going to start actually a few years back, if that's okay.
Of course.
I married my high school sweetheart, and we were happy for the first few years. Then he lost his dad, and he turned to alcohol. And I had 2 kids with him, and it just progressively got worse and worse. It was a real struggle, and it was starting to affect my boys. So it took a long time. I was to the point where I thought I was either going to have a nervous breakdown or I had to do something because there was no way I could not take care of my kids. So I left. I got brave enough and I left and I became a single mom. And in that journey, I had to go back to school because I was working part-time at the lodge with elderly people and not making very much money. And it was scary, but I did it. I went back to school and I took my dental assisting course with my two kids and trying to do that. And, because they were 8 and 6, so they were young, and got through that. And we did really well. My kids are grown and they're amazing young men. I'm so proud of them. And I was in my dental field for 20 years. And it's a good profession, don't get me wrong, but it was just not fulfilling anymore. So then I started trying to take other courses, just looking for something that would give me some purpose in life because I felt like I had none. I would get up in the morning and go to work and do my job. And, it was just repeat every day. And I'd come home after work, I'd sit on the couch and I was alone and I was sad. And I would think there's got to be more to life than this. And I did that for a few years, you guys. I didn't even realize that I was probably depressed. But looking back on it now, I'm sure I was depressed. And I met a few women along the way, and I met an amazing woman who does spiritual retreats. And so she invited me to go there one day, and I did. And we had an amazing time. And I met another lady there who does tarot readings, and I started chatting with her. Her name is Cheryl. And I was telling her that, I just feel lost. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help myself. And she said to me, Carol, I just started a clinical hypnotherapy course. And I'm like, oh, tell me more about it, right? And she did. And she told me what it was all about. And I don't know what it was, but something just told me, you've got to be a part of this. So the next day I phoned the school, talked to the instructor, and I was enrolled. So it just felt right. It just felt right. And I thought, you have to do something. You can't keep living the way you're living because you have no purpose. I wasn't happy. I had to do something. So I started the school, and I honestly had no idea what I was getting into. Oh my God. Anyways, everything that we learned that year, because it was a year-long course, whatever we were going to do with our clients, we had to go through ourselves. And I did so much healing and so much growing. And I'm telling you, it was hard. And there was a lot of tears throughout the year. But I come out of that course on the other end, honestly, a different person. It really did change my life. I can't say, I just can't say enough about how much hypnotherapy helped me. It's amazing.
Well, multiple right now who are listening and have no clue what that is. Could you kind of give us just a little short version of what that exactly entails?
Absolutely. So I know a lot of people, when they think of hypnosis, they think of the stage hypnosis and somebody getting them up there and making them do things that embarrass them. But that's not, absolutely not what I do. I mean, I talked to some women, my family, and I said, I can help you. And they're like, no way, you're not messing with my mind. But honestly, that's not what it's about. What it is I'll have a client that comes in with something that they need help with. And if they're open and they're ready, we can do some amazing results with hypnotherapy. So all I do is I get you into a state of relaxation. You do some deep breathing and you go into a state of focus. That's all hypnotherapy is. And in that state, you're actually 200 times more suggestible. So that's why it works so well to create new patterns in your mind, new neural pathways, it's called, but to change the thoughts in your mind, the programs in your mind that have been running sometimes since childhood. And you can flip them from negative and bad to looking at it as at a different angle as being more positive, and it really can change your life.
And, that's part of, that transformation that we want as coaches to help people get through is because that is what keeps us back is that programming and that we're not even aware of a lot of the times. And it's very difficult to start facing that and really breaking that down. And it's nice to have that support and that help. And that's a great method right there for so many to use to help them. And tell us a little bit about the journey from you actually going through that yourself to making you want to to turn around and actually do it as well for others.
Absolutely. So I have one memory and I remember this one. I was in school. I think it's grade 3 when you start to learn your multiplication tables. And, okay, I hate to admit my age, but I'm 57. So back then, there was no different ways of learning. You go home, you memorize it, right? That's how you learn. And I was having trouble memorizing it. And I remember my teacher asked me a question. I had 9 times was hard for me, 9 times 4, whatever. And she asked me a question and I didn't know the answer. And back then I was super shy and quiet as a mouse. But anyways, she looked at me and she said in front of the whole class, "What are you, stupid?" Yeah. Teachers back then weren't so nice, some of them. So honestly, I still remember that. I can still kind of feel it in my body. I was so embarrassed. I just wanted to crawl under my desk and hide. And of course, her being the authority person and you're supposed to listen to them and respect them and look up to them. I believed her. I struggled through my whole entire journey through school. I struggled through feeling not smart enough, not good enough, honestly, until I started going through this in the hypnotherapy program. So it affected me my whole life. Um, so what we do, my instructor took us kind of through age regression back to that time where that happened. And all of us had different experiences, of course, for me, and just to reprogram it. So, I mean, you have to feel those feelings again, but she switches it so that you know that that wasn't true, you know, and you have to come from a place of, and this was hard for me, writing a forgiveness letter to her because you have to realize that she's the way she is because of the way she was treated and the way she learned things and what she went through. Right. So I had to write a forgiveness letter and I actually wrote an autobiography pretending that I was her, not knowing her whole life story, but just put yourself in her shoes. And what do you think she went through to be the way that she was and why she treated you the way that she did? And it really did kind of switch things for me.
I feel like in this world, the forgiveness is such a challenging thing for so many of us, even though forgiveness isn't necessarily about letting them off the hook or saying that, oh, it's okay what you did to me. It's more of you just being like, I no longer am gonna let that control me or stop me or hinder me from living my life. And I feel like that's a great way to kind of perspective to see that we don't even realize what these people who have done harm to us have been through that would make them do these things in the first place. And when you can do that, just takes it to a whole nother level of being like, oh my goodness, like it's so easy to just look at somebody like they're just evil and bad, but you don't know, and there's so much of that in this world, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But what a beautiful way of being taught to see things differently. And I think that's a big part of this journey of ours is going through these experiences and learning these things and understanding, this is about us finding out what's best for us and moving forward. And that's a part of it. This forgiveness is a huge, even forgiving yourself, because a lot of
Yes.
it was done, it's not your fault.
Yes.
It's not your fault. And that's a huge, I love it. I love it. So tell us a little bit more about like with that. Keep going. I love it. You just keep going with your story.
Yeah. So it took me a while, more than one session to get past that. But, yes, coming from and forgiving myself for holding on to that for so long and believing her, you definitely need to forgive yourself. And once that happens and you can feel the change, it just totally changed my life. Like I went from, even in class, when I first started in class, I hardly said anything. Like I was in the kind of the quiet one in the back. By the end of the year, I was just right in there with all the other women, allowing them to see my true self and that I was good enough and I didn't have to worry about looking stupid or saying the wrong thing or what if this happens or what if that happens. They were all just so amazing and supportive. Yeah, it really was life changing. From that, I went to graduated from school, had the opportunity to actually go to a wellness event here in Morinville. It was 2 days. So I got to get up in front of a group full of people that if you would ask me to do that a year before that, there's no way I would have done that.
Yeah.
And I did. I actually recorded a hypnotherapy session for confidence and I listened to it. And I just got up there that day and I thought, you know what, you got this. And I got to speak to them about hypnotherapy. I got to do an actual hypnotherapy session with them. So they all got to go through and experience it. And it was amazing. I finished and I sat down and I thought, I'm so proud of myself because I rocked that. So yeah, it really is life changing.
That's awesome. Well, you should be proud of yourself. That's a huge step for someone who has been reserved for so long, like you were, because of that. And isn't that's that's so sad, and I hate that. But you're so right about that whole that one little event when you were just an innocent child
Yeah.
affected you so much through your life. For me, mine was, I'll never forget being, and I feel like I had to been 3 or 4 years old. I was very young, but I remember it to a T of walking in. My mom was in her room getting dressed, looking in the mirror, and her just saying, "Oh, I look so ugly in this. I'm so fat." And my mom is anything but fat and ugly. Anyone who ever meets my mom or knows her, but that's what she believed about herself. And I'll
Yeah.
never forget looking at her and being like, well, I must be too, because I am her daughter. Like, I'm made in her image. I just remember thinking that. In my entire life, I had eating disorders. I always thought I was fat and ugly, no matter how skinny I was. And it was a hard thing to experience. And it's kind of a scary thing, but I love that, the forgiveness, and just hearing your story of going through something like that, and finally getting to that place where you pushed the limits. You did something that you could be like, oh my God, I can do this. I am not what I thought I was. I am not this, what, for your sake, well, unfortunately, it was a stupid kid.
That's right.
And that, which is so untrue. You're amazing. So what happened after that journey with that
Um,
experience?
oh yeah. So I've actually started doing some group sessions here in Morinville. There's a lady here in town who lets me use her yoga space. So yeah, so I've been doing some group sessions there. I have another session booked. A lady reached out to me. She's doing a day event. And so she wanted to do a past life regression through hypnotherapy, through hypnosis. So I'm going to do that. She's got 15 women coming in, and that's going to be so exciting and so fun. It's always fun to do past life regressions and get to see where, if people believe that, where they came from and their lives, and even those lives, how they can affect you in this life. So yeah, it's pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Attention, hardworking moms. Are you ready to kickstart your journey to a thriving online business? Introducing Learn and Earn Profits Online Max, a groundbreaking digital resale course that's revolutionizing success. Learn how to create your own funnel and sell this exact course, pocketing a whopping 100% of the profits. Yes, you heard that right, 100% yours. Lipo Max is an enhanced platform packed with incredible modules and valuable insights designed to elevate your online business game. Don't miss this chance to join a supportive community where hard work meets exceptional opportunities. Say goodbye to the hassle of creating courses from scratch. Lipo Max does the heavy lifting for you, empowering you to learn and earn in an environment tailored for your success. Act fast and secure your spot in this game-changing program and set yourself up for a prosperous life. Join the Lipo Max community today. Click on the link in the show notes to learn more or contact me today with any questions. Tell us a little bit more about what you do now as well in your own venture, and what that's been like, your experience with all of it.
So I wanted to work with women who are struggling like I was. And because I'm going through midlife, I kind of decided to focus in. I mean, I can help anybody, but I created a program for these women because I don't want to see any of them struggling like I did. Like for years, I just was unhappy and had no direction in life and had no idea how to help myself. And so I've got a program right now. It's called Healing the Wounds Within. And it's a 90-day hypnotherapy program. So what I do is I'll meet with them once a week and we'll go through the therapy. We talk lots too, right? But, and then a hypnosis session every week to help them get past the things that are holding them back.
I love this. I'm so proud to be with someone like this and to hear your story and to see your journey. And I think it's amazing what you're doing because some people just need that really in-depth help with the
Yes.
reprogramming because that's what it
Yes.
really is all about is that reprogramming. Because I mean, golly, who wants to stay feeling stuck and unfulfilled in your life? And so many of us do that to ourselves because we don't believe in the possibilities. But it's a limitless amount of possibilities out there. But you just got to keep showing up. You gotta keep
Yes.
believing, you gotta keep trusting. That's the difference between those who actually make it in the end and those who end up falling right back into that comfort zone and that same lifestyle that unfortunately. So if there's someone listening right now who, is in the place of what you're feeling, I feel like with you what you shared, you made this one little decision that led you to something like that. What would you say to that person that would help them to take or feel like they need to get out there and explore other options and just make that initial step to do something about it?
Well, you got to just have trust in yourself and believe that you are deserving because a lot of it comes from not feeling like you deserve more. And that's exactly where I was. I'm like, the past, the abusive relationship too didn't help because it was a lot of emotional abuse too, right? And you start to believe those things in yourself. But you guys, that's a load of crap. Just going to say that it's a load. Every person on this earth deserves to have a happy, fulfilling life. Every one of us. And if I can help even one single woman, then my year in hypnotherapy and learning how to do it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it. I don't want to see anybody struggling like I was because there is something out there for you. You just have to find it. You just have to be brave enough to step through your fears and try it. If it's not for you, that's okay. There's something else then, but you don't know until you try.
Well, thinking on that, we were talking before the show a little bit about like how you even had tried something that didn't feel aligned with you. Tell the listeners a little bit about that because I feel like that sends a great message of like how it's okay to try things and it not always work out.
Right. So when I first decided to do this, I wanted to work with women in midlife. And I had created a program called I Am Enough. And it was exactly that learning to love yourself, learning to, you're deserving, you're worthy, all of it. And then I just felt like it was kind of so many women or so many people doing that. So I thought, no, maybe I'll just switch it up and I'll help women with menopause. And so I started doing that. And I did. I've helped some women, right? I just started my business this year, but it just didn't feel aligned. I just didn't feel like I'm helpful. I'm grateful to help everybody, but it was just not feeling right. So I thought, no, I have to go back to my original thoughts, my original idea of teaching women to go within, get rid of the itty bitty shitty committee that's always telling them that they're not enough, right? And once you can dig through all of that stuff,
Yeah.
it really changes your life.
It does. It really does. And we're not here without that. Because of that. This is why we're here, is because we've been there. We've been through the transformations. We've learned it. It's so real. It's so powerful. And why wouldn't you want to be in something in a world and a support and a community with women who just want to see you happy and successful? And that's what I want to build here. That's what we're working to always build. And we want to bring you along that journey because, like Carol says, you deserve it. You deserve it. It's yours to have. We just have to find a way to get you to figure out what is your unique purpose. What are you meant to do that maybe you've been feeling like, "Ugh, there's no way that I could monetize that, or that's nothing, that's no biggie." But even though it fills your cup, you don't see the potential it can have to help benefit people in this world and stuff like that. But it is a lot about too, just getting through that trash in our heads and the programming that's been put in us for so long that's just holds us back. It holds us back.
That's right. Yeah. And, sometimes you don't even realize what's going on. Like, so I went through hypnotherapy back to age regression to a time when I was just little. And I didn't remember this on my own. I had to go through hypnosis for this. Every time my dad would start the truck when I was little, I would run outside because I knew he was going to the store. And if I got to go with him, he would buy me a penny candy, like a mojo or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I didn't remember this, but this came up in hypnotherapy. The truck started and I heard it and I ran out and I was running. I don't know. I was running out to the truck and I don't think he saw me. So when he did see me, he stopped the truck and he yelled at me because he could have ran me over, right? But in that moment of being just, I don't know if I was like 3 or 4 years old and him yelling at me, I thought, oh my God, dad doesn't love me anymore. Dad doesn't love me. And I mean, that's crazy. Of course he loves me, right? But as a little kid, that's how I processed it. And I had no idea until I went through hypnosis. And then I had to work through that. I think that's why I picked men that I picked, because none of them are really available for love like they should have been. Like it was never a happy relationship. I've learned that now, but something just as little as that and how you as a child take that in, right, can affect you your whole life and you don't even realize until, yeah, I went through hypnosis. So
That is so powerful because, man, I mean, any one of us could probably sit here right now and really look back and think about times in our past where little things that we kind of think of it as just a memory, but you don't realize the impact it probably had in your subconscious mind that
yeah,
followed you your life and caused you to attract the exact things you hate and that you don't want for your life. And that's the same thing with me. I went through so much because I had a dad who just was really never there for me, and he was in and out, and he always picked all these other women over us, and he just never really loved me. He really wanted a son. I wasn't a boy, so he was very disappointed. And the funny thing with that is there was a time, even in like middle school time, that was I mean, I grew up being a tomboy, and I think a part of my identity, one of the issues I had was that a part of me thought, well, maybe if I acted like a boy, my dad would come back into my life, and I kind of like picked that up, and what's sad about that is it took away from my identity. It took away from who I really am. Instead of being accepting of that I'm a girl and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with me. I almost try to be something I'm not in order to think that, well, maybe
yeah,
if I'm this way, then he'll love me, then he'll accept me. And then that later on in life, that led me to also attracting the wrong kind of men, like you say, that were abusive and who treated me like they were, emotionally unavailable. They made me feel like something was wrong with me when really it was them,
yeah, yeah,
and so it's beautiful to get to the side where you're realizing, "Oh my goodness, I've been causing this for myself almost." So it's like, "No, no more. I could also do that. I
yeah,
can flip-flop this and create what I want now, and I have the
abs-
power within me. It's all within us. Everything we need is within us. We just need someone to help us to see that, right?"
absolutely, for sure.
So tell us a little bit, I know you're a mom, like, about your kids. I'd love to hear a little bit about them.
Well, honestly, it was tough. I was mom and dad, so I was trying to be the loving, nurturing one because their father was never in the picture and try to be the, disciplinarian. So it was a juggling act for sure. But they've turned out to be such wonderful young men. I'm so proud of them. They're kind, loving young men. And I'm excited because one finally is in a relationship. He had his heart broken years ago and he's finally opened his heart up again. So, and he's quite happy. He lives in Victoria and he is apprenticing to be a pipe fitter. And my youngest son, that's Derek, my youngest son, Dylan, he's working at an insurance company. He does inspections for homes for property damage. But, they're both doing well, successful. I'm very proud of them.
That's awesome. I realize that they are who they are and amazing because of you. 100%, which is awesome. You can get that credit. You should take that credit and you should own it because I know that's a tough position. I was there with my firstborn for a long time. I had my mom around who made a great impact on him as well. But when you try to play the role as the mom and dad, I think it's harder on us than it is on them because they don't know. They only know what they know.
That's
I think
right.
we project that because we have that fear. For me, I think it was more of the fact that like I was so scared that, or I didn't want to have that same life like my mom had with not having the dad and being the single mom. And I saw the way she struggled and worked so hard. And then she ended up like resenting men and hating men and not believing it. Like I didn't want that outcome for me. I didn't want that for my son. And I really worked hard to get away from that. But I went for a while there being single. So I know the pressure. One thing about that my husband helped me to realize when we first met, me and my mom my mom did this for us growing up. She would always go overboard for Christmas, overboard for Christmas time. And it was
Yeah.
because she had this feeling like she had to make up for us not having a dad. Right. So I never
Yeah.
forget when he met me and he was like, why are you getting and spending all this money on Christmas for for this boy? And it wasn't because he didn't think it was just like, he wanted me to realize he's like, because he grew up so differently. His parents were wealthy, but they acted like they were poor. They didn't buy him anything. They didn't have birthday parties. They didn't do all that stuff. I was like, what? That to me blew my mind, but it's so cool
Yeah.
because I had to see how the difference and the upbringings that we had. But he helped me to realize like I was literally creating almost an entitled child, like where he expected all of a sudden to have all these presents. And so he actually saved me. He helped me to realize that I was just following my mom's pattern of feeling like
Yeah.
I had to make up for him not having, the grandparents and the father. And I love being able to know that I was able to transition from that and to create to where now he's so grateful for what he gets. He's actually he's 15 years old and he's already working his own job, got a check and savings account. We're teaching him about managing money. I mean, there's nothing like that though, to be able to really raise good kids and good that end up being adults. They're good men, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's heartwarming. That's for sure.
Hurtful, yeah. Yeah. So I would love to ask you if there's just any other advice out there with your experience in life and what you've been through as a mom, as an entrepreneur now. What would be one of your top advice for somebody out there listening?
If you're struggling, if you're unhappy, you need to reach out. Don't just stay in that space. Really ask for help because that still is kind of a big downfall for me. I have a hard time asking people for help, but don't do that because I did that and I stayed stuck for years and years and years and years. Like really put yourself first. It's okay. Invest in yourself. Like get the help that you need because it's going to change your life. You need that. You need somebody to, even if it's, friends, like reach out for help. Reach out for help. That's my biggest take on my life period. I wish I would have done it a lot sooner than what I did.
And I know that there's probably so many listening right now who we're scared. We're so scared to reach out because maybe we've been abandoned or we've been disappointed by certain people that we had hoped would support us and didn't. But let me tell you, there are so many people who will. They really are. And you can't let those few that might have disappointed you, might have let you down, stop you. I feel like I wish I had came out sooner and asked for help and put myself out there because I didn't realize how amazing and how much I would attract the right people for myself because
Yeah.
I just kept, for a minute there, I kept assuming that I just keep on attracting the wrong people. But it was me changing that and then finally being like, no, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do it. What do I have to lose? Right. Let me just do it. Let me just see how it goes. And then bam, life changing. It
That's
is.
right. As soon as you start taking those steps, things change for you for sure.
I mean, look at us right now, Carol, and how in our journey, like
Yeah.
we're just sitting here talking on a podcast, we're sitting out here sharing our stories with the world. We're sitting out here pursuing our dreams and just doing what we can for ourselves, showing up for ourselves. I mean, I know me, I would never think I would be here like 2 years ago. I was in
Oh,
actually a very big depression, postpartum depression, having a newborn, having a toddler at home. I felt so alone. I felt like I just was like stuck, just
yes.
stuck in life.
Yes, absolutely. That's how I felt too. And I stayed that way for way too long.
And
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see where you are. I can't wait to see how you thrive. I want to make sure that someone who's listening wants to come and find you. Tell us a little bit about how can somebody can find you to follow you, whether it's on social media or even a website, if you don't mind to share that.
No, of course. I don't have a website set up yet, but you can follow me on Facebook. So my business name is Honor Yourself Hypnotherapy. Or you can find me under my name, my personal name, which is Carol Lataweic. You might have to, it's Latawiec.
Oh, okay.
It's Polish.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And I will be sure to, of course, include that in the show notes for anybody too. It's for easy access. But Carol, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to be here with me. It's been great meeting you and just having this time with you. And I, like I said, it'll stay connected. I look forward to hearing, as you grow and thrive in your business. I want to bring you down the road and to share more and more with the audience because there's just always so much more that we're going to learn, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful that I met you in the class the day that we couldn't get in because we were going into the event group room or something.
That was so funny. I was like,
It was-
am I doing something wrong here? And I was like, no. I was like, I finally am trying to show up for one of these classes. Hey,
well,
hey, you know what I believe in? Divine timing. We were meant to meet right
we
there.
were meant to meet. That's right.
I love you. Thank you so much again for being here.
Thank you.
Here are the key takeaways from today's episode. Just like Carol, it's crucial to recognize when aspects of your life aren't serving you well. Take a moment to reflect on areas where you might need to make changes for your own well-being and the betterment of your future. Life throws curveballs at us, all of us, but it's how we respond that truly matters. Remember Carol's perseverance in the face of adversity and know that you have the same strength within you to overcome any obstacles that come your way. Carol's journey involved exploring different paths until she found her true calling. Take inspiration from this and don't be afraid to explore your own passions and interests until you discover what truly lights you up. We all battle with self-doubt from time to time, but it's essential to address it head on. Reflect on any limiting beliefs holding you back and take steps to challenge and overcome them. Holding on to resentment and anger only weighs us down. Take a cue from Carol and practice forgiveness, both for others and yourself. It's a powerful tool for healing and moving forward with a lighter heart. None of us have to navigate life's challenges alone. Don't hesitate to reach out for help and support when you need it. Whether it's from friends, family, or professionals, it's a sign of strength, not weakness. Always remember that you are deserving of happiness and fulfillment. Carol's journey serves as a reminder that no matter your past or present circumstances, you have the power to create the life you desire. Believe in yourself and your worth. I hope these insights from Carol's story resonates with you and inspire you to take positive action in your own life. Remember, you have the strength and resilience to overcome any obstacles and create a life filled with purpose and joy. You can learn more about Carol on Facebook at Honor Yourself Hypnotherapy. Lastly, subscribe to my show and leave me a review. Your feedback is much appreciated. If you want my support on your journey towards creating a life you desire, then visit me at marydibblecoaching.com or contact me on social media to learn more about how I can help you get jump started on creating that life that you deserve. Let us, radiant moms, continue to rise and enjoy life to the fullest. Until next time, much love.